those of you wondering what on earth I was just shooting at, I was shooting at this. The Ridge Wallet by The Ridge. It is an RFID blocking card holder, and it is extremely durable. This one is made out of 6061 T6 aluminum. They also come in titanium and carbon fiber. I went with the aluminum one because I'm a cheap date. But they will hold a dozen cards and can be easily accessed by the little notch here, pushing it up. There are a number of other nifty features that I will go into in future videos, but I definitely plan to put this through some stress testing and see just how much abuse it can take. So, look forward to that, and if you're interested in something like this, ridgewallet.com is their website. Check out their stuff. They've got some cool things. Plus, they sent me cool stuff, and it would be cool. On to the video! Welcome back, I'm Captain Xavier, and this is one of the newest amazing items I have been sent by Captain Slug. This is, as it would appear, a Megaburn. And when these were first announced, I knew I wanted one desperately, and then the Rival Burn came out, and I was a little more meh about that, and I've changed my tune on that. We'll get to that one. But when I saw that he had finally posted a Megaburn, I told him that I really, really wanted one. He said, well, they're available on my Etsy, and before I could even get over there to try to order one, he offered to send me one if I would do videos on it. So, of course, I'm going to do videos on it. I took it to Afterworlds, and I used it when I went out as an mutant Revolutionary Army commando, hunting people in the waste in the name of the Prophet and shooting them in the head. Killed a fair number of players with this thing, and had a lot of fun with it, but then it broke. There were two failures that I ran into. One I was able to alleviate fairly easily, and then the other one was a catastrophic failure, which is that he sent me the teardown receiver design, and the parts that held the pin on the back part broke. Snapped right off, and the whole front end just popped right off the blaster. Luckily, it didn't do it while I was in the middle of a firefight. That would have been embarrassing. But it did break fairly completely. Part down here broke. These parts broke. And then the other issue that I kept running into was that the bolt here that actually loads the round, chambers the round, was just a little bit too short. And because it wasn't entirely secure, because there's only one screw point here instead of two to hold it directly center, it would actually jam on the back of this receiver, and then it wouldn't feed at all. It was just completely stuck. But I was able to fix that just by dremeling out the inside so that it was a little more sloped, and now it feeds most of the time without a problem. But he has fixed all of that in the new receiver that he has sent me. Right after I got back from Afterworlds, I informed him what had happened, and he apologized and said, yeah, I've run into that problem. So I am alleviating it. The first couple of differences is the new lower for the part that broke off. There wasn't actually anything functionally wrong with this. It's just when the thing catastrophically failed, it broke off. The portion that had the parts that cracked has now been printed in ABS instead of PLA. So that should be much stronger. I am slightly concerned that it is still sliced straight up and down along where the crack went. But in looking at it, trying to print it the other direction would have been problematic. So I can understand that. I may, if this one breaks, which I really doubt because ABS is much stronger than PLA, but if it were to break, I would probably then try to print my own replacement for this part, but print it the other direction and see if that would make a difference or if it would even work at all. But I'm now going to tear this thing down, which I haven't actually done a full teardown on one of these because he sent them to me assembled, and swap out this part, and then we're going to go get some numbers and shoot at some stuff, and it's going to be fun. So, now I got to figure out how this comes apart. Now, naturally, my favorite part about the teardown feature is the modularity that it gives you. Because if you simply take out the pins, simply by taking out those two, the upper receiver and barrel assembly comes off, and you can then just take out the plunger and replace your spring if you want to change springs, upgrade, downgrade, whatever you want. That is very easy with this design, and it's fabulous. I think that might need a little bit of work. But if you then also take out the third pin, the magwell comes off, and you can then attach an entirely different front end. In this case, my rival front end. And now your Caliburn is chambered for rival instead of mega. So instead of having to have 3 different blasters, if you want to have all 3 types, you just need 3 different front ends. And even a lot of the front end parts are interchangeable. But this way you can simply swap it out just by taking off the front section. So the back section on all of the different variants of the Caliburn are identical. The front ends are what are different. So that, in my opinion, is pretty stinking cool. The downside to the design that we've seen so far is durability. There's not really a whole lot of material right here holding this pin in. I'm kind of surprised it's not squared to give you more material, but I'm sure there was some math involved in this particular design. And printed in ABS, hopefully it will hold out. We will see how long that piece holds. The only part that seems to break is the coupler, where all of the pins actually go into the front assembly. And other than that, it's very, very solid. So I'm hoping this one will last me a lot longer. I do need to file out the mag release a little bit. It's a little bit sticky and catches, which I don't like. But other than that, I really like the new parts that he sent me. He is also apparently sending me possibly new bolts. The pusher bolt making them a little bit longer. I don't think he needs to, because the changes that he made to the upper receiver definitely seem to have alleviated the jamming issue that I was having before. So that probably isn't actually necessary, but he probably is going to do it anyway. Because then I'll do a video on it. And he loves it when I do videos on his stuff. And I like doing videos on his stuff, because then he sends me stuff. Anyway, let's take this to the range and fling some foam. Alright, we have my Megaburn. It's loaded with one of the big 12-round Tyrant magazines. And we're going to be shooting the usual plethora of ammunition, starting with 2 regular Mega. Wow. Followed by 2 knockoff Mega that don't seem like they're even going to chamber. Okay, the cheap knockoff Mega Darts won't chamber. The heads are too large and it just jams. We're going to try the Litake Sticky Head. Now we have Busby Sticky Darts. I think the previous one must have had something wrong with it. Alright, now we have Accu Strike. And last but not least, Accu Fake. Interesting. So, in general, getting 150s with the K25, which means it was probably a little heavy for Afterworlds, and now I feel kind of bad. Don't tell anybody. They already know. They watch my channel. I'm doomed. I've been ratted out. So far, it hasn't broken. Alright, let's try range and accuracy. Alright, now for the real test. I'm going to be shooting at my dart catcher, which is a roughly man-sized target, at 100 feet. And we'll see if I can actually get anywhere near it. First firing Acu fakes, then firing Acu strikes. Let's go take a look. The shortest Acu fake came in at 83. We got Acu strikes. But, as you can see, there is a fairly decent grouping right here behind the target. I don't think I actually got any in. We did have a few come all the way back here, which is probably another 15 feet, so 115 feet with Mega. Accurate. The side-to-side spread is probably 5, maybe 6 feet at 100 feet. That's actually more impressive than I was expecting. Hooray! So here at 50 feet, for the laughs and for the cash, we have the Ridge wallet that was sent to me by The Ridge. And I'm going to be shooting at it with my Megaburn with a variety of ammunition. And we're going to see if I can get anywhere close to hitting it, and if I manage to hit it, if it sustains any damage. Let's do this. So at that range and at that velocity, the suction cup and the regular Megas were comically inaccurate, whereas the AccuFake and the AccuStrike weren't that bad. So I'm going to try it again at a slightly closer range, just using AccuFakes and AccuStrikes, and see if I can hit it. Nailed it with an AccuFake. We'll keep going so we can try the AccuStrikes. Nailed it with the last shot. So I got it with one AccuStrike and one AccuFake. Let's take a look and see if any damage was done. Not a scuff. Not a scratch. It's almost like airplane grade aluminum is relatively tough. Focus. Lovely. Ridge wallet. Can withstand the force of a Megaburn. You can't ask much more than that. Alright, let's go talk about this. Alright, well that is absolutely magnificent. The fact that I can actually accurately hit a credit card sized target at 30 feet with Mega, and a man-sized target at 100 feet with Mega, is to me absolutely incredible. I was in the camp along with everyone else who had pretty much written off Mega as being unviable at long ranges, because if you got enough power to get the dart to go that far, there was no accuracy whatsoever. But thanks to both Mega, AccuStrike, and the AccuFakes, that is no longer the case. AccuStrike does go a little bit farther. It's got a slightly higher FPS and a little bit farther. It's not quite as heavy and flies just as straight, but they are much more expensive. The AccuFakes, while they've got a few foot difference in range, really not much to really cry about, because they have a lot more mass, so they travel through the air more consistently, and for farther. They've got the inertia to keep going. But they're also way, way cheaper than AccuStrikes. So whichever way you choose to go, they seem to work beautifully in the Megaburn. I've had no problems with this magazine whatsoever, and it's nice that it holds 12. It's obviously huge, which makes it hard to carry multiple ones, but you could put them in a full dump pouch, obviously would work. And I do have 3 of them, and I need to get the other ones painted up. Ragnar Oktoberfest is going to have zombies that can only be stunned by Mega, so I'm really tempted to bring this along. I think the only ammo that I would be able to use would be Accu Fake, because if the FPS is over 150, you simply cannot use it. But this was getting under 150 with Accu Fakes, obviously because they're heavier, so I might be able to get away with that. So we will see. And yeah, I definitely like it. Thank you so much, Captain Slug, for sending to this. All his links will be down in the description. I will continue to stress test this new part, the one that broke previously. I'll put a whole bunch of rounds through it. I'll try different spring loads and see what ends up happening. It seems to be holding up so far. It may have been an issue. I know at Afterworlds I probably dry fired it a couple of times because it's really hard to tell when these are out of ammunition. There is no, mag lock. There is no indicator whether the thing has chambered around. Obviously, all of that would be complicated, and I don't know how well it would ever work. So, that is one concern that you may run into. Dry firing something this heavy is obviously bad for it. There is rubber padding on the plunger head, but that only goes so far with something like this, so that may have been the issue. Generally in Nerf wars, you're going to be a little bit more careful about that. I might look into finding some way, maybe, cutting a hole in the magazine or drilling a hole in the magazine right here so that I can see if there is a dart. Because you really can't see otherwise if there's even a dart there. Maybe make a couple of holes right up here so that you can see if there is a dart at the top of the magazine. That might work. If you're using clear magazines, which do exist for Mega, obviously that would solve that problem quite nicely. You would be able to see right there if there was a dart, but this one isn't transparent or translucent. So yeah, anyway, this is awesome. I'm looking forward to using this a lot more. Probably going to start using it at wars a fair amount because I do like playing a sniper role, and now that Megas pierce shields in our general group, this is actually a really viable and really powerful blaster for a lot of scenarios where shields are causing a lot of trouble. Things like, hold the points, where the shieldmen like to come up and hold the point, or anything where there's something they're trying to gather and the shieldmen are covering, or, when the shieldmen try to rush to, to capture the flag or for Titan Ball. Having long-range Mega that could reach out and take out the shields would be very, very valuable. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to play with. Thank you so much, Captain Slug, for this. Any of you who are interested in this, check out his Etsy shop. Link will be in the description. Also, up here. So, there you have it. Thank you all. Thank you for watching.